So,
I want to see theater in its double.
oh, Don, could you take theater in its double? I don't know. It might be hard to get him to take anything. It might be hard. All right. So the other thing is that I always wanted this thing to be open source. I always wanted it to be open source because I had a brilliant analysis of the art world and its progressions, and the computer science world and its progressions, and how they have never spoken to each other, and yet at the same time they mirror what each one is doing. And so, for example, Duchamp and the ready-made. This is something we all understand. I think Duchamp is probably the most important artist for artists. I mean, how many artists are in the room? People that practice artists? How many people would say Picasso is your primary influence? Aha, not one. How many people would say that you've wrestled with or struggled with Duchamp and think about it occasionally? Aha, very, very valuable. Casual, I get it, but at the same time, I really think that artists are more interested in that Duchampian thing than they are the obsessive-compulsive invention form. Oh, did I say that about Picasso? Yes. All right, so the thing is that Duchamp invented this ready-made thing, and then I once heard a lecture, and I've tried to track this down. I haven't been very good at doing it. It was by Kossuth. Oh, this is the falling man. It's the root object is the man. Right? The root object is the man. So he's written the falling man. I got another one that's P&S. Stands for pissing and shitting. Right? Because why wouldn't we have these scatological things as a part of this project? Wait, don't get me off track. Oh, shit. Kossuth. So I heard a lecture, he came to my graduate program, he lectured about this thing, and he's kind of aggressive about this stuff. And I remember him talking about the ready-made, made-ready, and all this thing about Quine and the philosopher and all this stuff. Again, I've never been able to track that talk down, so I don't know if he wrote it. So if you know the reference, please help me with this, because I really need to find this thing if I keep talking about it in public like I do. But the thing is, he talked about the ready-made, made-ready, and I remember at the time, I just thought, what an idiot. What is he talking about? This is just some semantical game, this and that, the other thing. And then, so slowly, and then other things happen. I'm also interested in social sculpture by boys, and I'll talk about the creation of alphabets in a minute. And open source is maybe some sort of social sculptural process. And then, of course, there's social media and social networking and all that stuff. So, and, boys was sort of about the Marxist meaning of that word social, not the casual meaning like, I'm going to text you, we're going to meet at the museum on Thursday and have a bite to eat. That's not, that would be social in the Grace's way, not in the Marxist way. So, I'm interested in sort of all these things. These are some of the experiments that drove me to make this thing. There's pissing and shitting. It really should be vomiting and pissing. Sorry about that. It should be V&S. So anyway, all right, so there's that. And then on the other side you have, when things begin to make sense with me about Kossuth, I began to think about this open source. And how the open source is exactly, the Creative Commons license is exactly a ready-made or the ready-made, made-ready kind of license. In other words, I create something and I allow you to come and get it. And if you improve it, you put it back in the world. That's the license. It is a licensing agreement, by the way, Creative Commons and open source. If you take my code and you improve it, then you're obliged to recontribute it, to take it and put it back in the world. So these are people preparing things to be used again, right? And it's a very, very interesting concept in and of itself, right? I think we understand that open source is inspired on some level. If you follow computers and computing, it threatens Microsoft on some level. It threatens, Apple said that their operating system has an open source quality, and if you believe that, I got a bridge to sell you. But, at the same time, Linux is developed that way, and other things are developed that way. So I always wanted this. Well, we can't, because this was written in Director. I can't make Director open their code and give it to the world and do whatever they want to with it. So I can't really do that. And there are game engines and all these things and blah, blah, blah. And it turns out when you go to develop something like this, it's a jungle. It's a complex, there are vines hanging down and spiders that will kill you. And, it's a jungle in there. And that's one of the things that Don has been so effective in weeding out. How are we going to develop this? What are we going to do with this thing? So we really could make this source, the software itself open source.